feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank.
Hey everybody, welcome to the post-show wrap-up of the Shrimp Tank. I'm your co-host Ted Jenkins, sitting here with my co-host Lee Hosman. Of course, our guest today, Josh Antenucci, who's the CEO of Rival Entertainment, and we and Center Stage here in Atlanta. We just had such a great discussion today about business in general, and you really need to go back and listen to this entire podcast at shrimptankpodcast.com, because what do you do one day if basically your whole business goes from doing hundreds of concerts to one? And how do you actually keep that business alive? And it was just a great discussion today. As always, you can download us at the Apple Store, Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud. You can go to iHeartRadio. But at some point, here's the thing. If you're running a business or starting a business, there's only one place to learn how to do it right, and that's from other entrepreneurs. And that's what we do here on the Shrimp Tank every week, is bring you some of the brightest and best entrepreneurs, show you the do's and don'ts about growing, starting, and running a business. You can learn a lot from this episode today.
Ted, I'm going to bring up something that I know we've talked about in the past. And if you've watched a lot of our shows, you know about IQ, intelligent quotient, right? And you know about EQ, emotional quotient. But a lot of entrepreneurs don't know, and they forget about, is AQ. And that's really what Josh here has shown us, and that's why I'm going to ask you my next question. AQ is adversity quotient. And as an entrepreneur, how much adversity can you take before you fold? And we're talking about hundreds and hundreds of concerts that you have throughout the year, and now you've done one. Tell us a little bit about your business, of course, what you did in the past, what you're doing today, and kind of who you guys are as an organization.
Great. So we are Rival Entertainment, and we are an independent concert promoter based here in Atlanta, Georgia, where we run 3 stages in Midtown: Center Stage Theater, The Loft, and Vinyl. We're responsible for 450 concerts and events every year in our facility and outside of the walls of Center Stage. And we have produced some of Atlanta's most notable concert experiences. We've done some big ones with the Foo Fighters down at Centennial Olympic Park and Georgia State University Stadium. We produced Prince's last show ever at the Fabulous Fox Theater. We've been doing this for 20 years, but we are a small business, and we have been absolutely leveled by the response to COVID-19.
Yes, but I'm actually floored at your response to it, because you're still staying in business and you're doing everything you can. We talk about that adversity quotient. That's what an entrepreneur is really about.
Yeah, I was going to say, talk to us a little bit, because we mentioned on the show about PPP last year and how that kept businesses afloat. And some businesses are deciding whether they take PPP again this year. But you're talking about this program called Save the Stages. And what is that to tell everybody? Because everyone loves going to these live venues, especially hearing some of their favorite concert artists. What's that all about?
So way back in March, a bunch of like-minded independent concert promoters and venue operators got together and said, hey, we've got to be the worst, the most impacted, the most hurting industry out there. Gathering is fundamental to a live event. And if we can't gather folks, then we cannot do our business. So we got together and spent 9 months of our lives harassing Congress to give us the support that we need to survive. It's not that we're not trying hard enough. It's that there are literally laws against us doing what we do in gathering people in our venues, and we can't do our work. And when we can't do our work, we need help. And that 9 months of effort was ceremoniously beneficial to us back in December, when Congress passed the relief bill, and it included a $15 billion Shuttered Venues Act.
This is in the Consolidated Appropriations Act that just came out in 2021.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And what does this act do for you? Just a little more specific.
This act will look hindsight back to the beginning of March, and will look forward to the end of 2021, and will, for all intents and purposes, will make us whole for ordinary business expenses that we have incurred, so that when the time comes that we can reopen the doors, or as it's defined, where we exceed 25% of our previous earnings, then we'll be able to stand up on our own 2 feet and do business again.
Well, speaking of going forward, and you said from back to forward, what's next for you?
there's going to be a day, and hopefully it's sooner than later, that we get to start putting the business back together. We need to assemble our team, rehire our employees, maintain the facility, all of the things that we've been unable to do for the last 9 months. We're going to begin doing them again in the spirit of being able to host shows. It's going to take a while. Our business simply cannot sustain on partial capacity. So not until the day that we can all gather elbow to elbow like we are here today safely that we're going to be able to get back to business.
So knowing that that's coming, how would people keep in touch with you? How would they look up to see when the next venues are there?
We keep it all accurate on centerstage-atlanta.com and rivalentertainment.com. We will be screaming from the rooftops as soon as we have a show that we can sell you tickets to.
Who would you say all the time at Center Stage was the artist that was the most fun to work with that you brought in for a venue?
Elton John.
Elton John.
We had Elton John moved into Center Stage for almost 3 months and recorded an album live with his band on the floor of Center Stage.
Kidding.
Wow.
And it was just the most profound experience.
Very cool. Well, this reminded me in doing Josh's podcast today that one of the great exercises you can do as an entrepreneur is something I learned a long time ago called blank page management. And what this is about is that if you had a blank page and you started writing what ifs, would you be able to solve for those what ifs before they happen? Now think about what happened here in Josh's business today. What if you had no customers tomorrow that could do business with you? What if you had to let go of all of your employees tomorrow? And if you can answer those what if questions, it allows you to build contingency plans. So when those bad things happen, and they will, they happen to all business owners, you are ready and armed to take center stage, like we were talking about today, and solve those problems for your business. So try this at some point today, blank page management, write those what ifs, and that will help you when the bad things do happen to your business. And that's the post-show wrap-up of the Shrimp Tank.
I've been feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp